Hey guys, Victoria here and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on how I plan my study session, and I'll be talking about the 4 things which you need in order to have an effective study session. I have a very exciting announcement to make as well, which is that I'm putting this study planner up on sale. So you guys can now purchase it if you want to use it, and you can contact me on Instagram or on Carousel, both at victoriactual, if you wish to purchase it. As we proceed into today's video, I'll be talking more about how you can use this study planner, but the tips that I'll be giving will be useful to you whether or not you decide to purchase the planner. So let's proceed with today's video. To have an effective study session, you need to have 4 things, and the first thing is of course realistic study goals for that day, meaning your to-do list for that day. And I've said this before, but it is important to add things to your to-do list gradually throughout the day. Once you get a new task, just add it to your list so that you won't forget it. And it is also very important to write everything down in your to-do list. Add in all the little details like page numbers and questions and all that stuff to save yourself the trouble of remembering it later on. So as you guys can see, I have a section for tasks here, so you can write down all your tasks here. And then beside here, I have also a little column for tick, meaning once you're done with a certain task, you can just tick it off your list. And I don't know if it's just me, but it always feels so good when I'm done with a task and I can tick that task off the list. It just makes me feel so productive, which is why I decided to include a column for ticks. The second thing which you need for an effective study session is of course motivation, and motivation can come in many forms, but my favorite form of motivation is something which I can look forward to. So it could be a mini reward like a movie night or an episode of drama that you really want to watch. Whatever it is, something which makes you look forward to it could be your mini reward. So to incorporate this into my planner, I do have a little section for mini rewards here. As you can see, the mini rewards, movie night and desserts. So whatever your mini reward is, just write it down here to always remind yourself. I think that treating yourself with mini rewards is so important in order to avoid burnout and also to keep your spirits high in terms of motivation. So the third thing that you would need for an effective study session is the Pomodoro technique. So I love the Pomodoro technique so much, and I have always used it for my revision sessions. So for those of you who don't know, the Pomodoro technique is where you study for half an hour and then you get a 5-minute break, and then you study for another half an hour and you get another 5-minute break. So this cycle goes on for 4 times before you get a longer break, around 20 minutes. So Pomodoro technique has always worked wonders for me. I think it works so well because 30 minutes is a manageable amount of time, so you won't lose focus. Your brain is still in it, and Pomodoro technique can also help to prevent the case of falling asleep during revision. So this isn't necessary, but I always had the habit of physically writing down my Pomodoro sessions, like 7:30 to 8 AM is one Pomodoro session. I always had the habit of doing that. So in my study planner, I have a section here, a section here where you can just write down your Pomodoro sessions and then you can tick it off the list. And I love writing down my Pomodoro sessions because it is a physical proof that I have done this much work for this time, and it also keeps me going because I get to tick it off the list. And before this, I always had like a separate to-do list and then a list for Pomodoro sessions, but now it just makes me so happy that I can combine 2 of it in one study planner. So I have the list of tasks here, and then I can write down my Pomodoro sessions here. It literally makes me so happy. And I think that if you haven't heard about the Pomodoro technique before this, or if you heard about it but you're doubtful about how well it works, you should definitely give it a try because it literally works so well, and it always keeps my mind fresh and keeps me motivated as well. So definitely try it out. So the 4th thing which you need for an effective study session is a sense of urgency. So I think the reason why we tend to procrastinate so much is we lack a sense of urgency, like we don't know where to start. To incorporate this into my study planner, I do have a column for urgency, and you can see it right here. So these are like transparent triangles, and depending on how urgent the task is and how soon you have to get it done, you can just highlight in the triangles. So this will give you an idea on which task you should begin with first, and that is very important because often the hardest thing to do is simply to start Once you start getting your work done, then you will feel good and productive, and it will be so easy to move on from one task to another. The hardest thing is often to start, so when you have a sense of urgency and you know which one to start with, then it is easy to launch into that productive mode. Those are the 4 things which you need in order to have an effective study session, and now I'll talk a little bit more about my planner. So apart from the column for tasks and the Pomodoro sessions and the rewards, so there's a place for day and date as well. And then there's a place for little reminders where you can either write the deadlines for your assignments or homework or whatever, anything that you just want to remember. I also included a quote that I really like at the bottom of this planner, and it says, "The secret to getting ahead is getting started." And this quote is true on so many levels, because once you start, you are a step closer to your goal than you were before you started. And I think it is super important to keep that in mind. The size of this planner is half an A4 paper, so I didn't want it to be too big and bulky, but at the same time I wanted enough space to write down all the essential things, and I think that this size is just nice. You can still carry it around, it's not too bulky, but you have all the space to write in all the stuff that you need to write. One pad contains 31 pages, so you can use 1 page per day, and this is the supply for a month. And I actually drew out all these by myself. I planned it out by myself, and I wanted a section for tasks, and I wanted a section for your Pomodoro sessions, and I wanted to have rewards and the little reminders, and it is so amazing to see this planner come to life. Needless to say, I am very happy with this design, and it is everything which I have emphasized on in my other videos. So if you have watched me for a while now, you would know that I am a huge fan of to-do lists, and I use the Pomodoro technique, and I believe in rewarding yourself after a study session, and this study planner just incorporates everything that I believe in, and it's just like physically here, and I'm just so happy about it, and I'm so glad to be able to share this with you guys. So hopefully you guys can purchase this, and maybe your study sessions would be more effective with this. So you guys can head over to my Instagram or Carousel, both at victoriactual, in order to purchase this planner, and I'll be using registered post to post this planner, so it will be guaranteed that you will receive this at your doorstep. And currently I'm also offering free shipping if you order 2 at one go. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below to my Carousel account, so you can check this out and maybe purchase this if you want to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.